So this is how me and my wife got into $52,000 of credit card debt. So it essentially boils down to two major life events that happened over the course of the last couple of years that really catapulted us into this $52,000 of credit card debt, which we're currently at $38,000. And I will definitely be making some follow-up videos to kind of go over how we're getting out of this credit card debt. But the two major life events that happened were, number one, me and my wife both decided that we needed a career change at the same time. And unfortunately, we both took the career change at the same time. Now, my wife was a server and she was actually making pretty good money, but she was definitely not happy doing this. So she would come home crying very often. It was like taking a toll on her mental health, physical health. And I was just like, look, you have got to quit this job and just go pursue something that you enjoy doing. Because at the time we were actually doing pretty well financially. So I thought there's no better time to do this than right now. So, anyways, she became a teacher, which she's still doing to this day, and she's pursuing her education and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, it came with a pretty big pay cut. Now, that wouldn't have been such a big issue had I stayed doing what I was doing, which was my photography business and a pretty decent car rental business. But I decided that I was going to become a realtor for whatever reason. I thought this was going to be like the thing that I do for the rest of my life, which it obviously is not. But I decided to do that, and that career itself, or that thing that I tried to pursue, basically didn't produce any income, and it just made me spend a lot of money. So not only did my wife take a large pay cut, but now I also wasn't making any money because I gave up my photography business and I gave up or scaled back my car rental business. So we were essentially spending a ton of money, but we weren't making enough money, which kind of drained our savings account. And eventually we had to start putting stuff on credit card. Now, the second life event that happened over the course of the last couple of years is that we got married, and it was a big wedding. It cost a lot of money. Now, I know a lot of people are probably going to rip me apart in the comments and say I shouldn't have had the wedding if we knew that we were in financial trouble. And I agree with you guys. But unfortunately, when we started planning the wedding, we were actually in a really good financial position. We had a lot of money in savings. I was still making some pretty good money. But had I known that I was going to not make any money with the career that I was going into, yes, I would have done things completely different. But I was very confident in my ability to make money going into what I was going into because I have been successful with my other businesses. But unfortunately, I wasn't successful in being a realtor and I didn't make any money. And we did realize that throughout this wedding process, we were in some financial trouble. But unfortunately, when you're planning a big wedding like that, it's kind of like a monster. And it wasn't like something that we could stop. Like we had already paid for the venue, we had already paid for the photographer, for the food. So all the big stuff was kind of already paid for. So essentially, what we had to do was put the rest of everything on credit cards, which is how we got into a lot of our credit card debt. But to be fair, we have paid off pretty much all of the wedding credit card debt since the time of that happening. So the rest of the credit card debt that we have now is basically what I would consider business credit card debt and fronting personal life expenses in lieu of not making any income from my business, which kind of also falls into the category of like business credit card debt. So those are the two major life events that happened. Having the perspective that I have now definitely would have changed many of the things that we did. But I think that's the whole point of me sharing this video is because you can definitely make better life choices than I did. But you can also get out of the credit card debt that you put yourself in when you make a choice that maybe wasn't a great idea. So just know that it's very possible that even if you're $52,000 in credit card debt, like me and my wife, you can get yourself out of it, number one. And number two, you're not alone. It's a very, very difficult and hard thing to go through. But just understand that a lot of people are going through the same thing, and a lot of people get out of the situation, and there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. Me and my wife are starting to see it slowly but surely. So there you guys have it. That is how me and my wife, unfortunately, at the peak of our credit card debt, we're at $52,000 worth of it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments.